My name is Christina Johnson, and I'm going to talk about what pulled me out of the dark, what broke the darkness and brought me into the light. For even in the darkness, there is light. It all started on February 14th, 1994. My mom went to see the doctor. Didn't know the reason why. My mom had all of us kids come to the table because we need to talk and it couldn't wait. With tears in her eyes, she said, "I have breast cancer." All I could hear was death, and darkness was suffocating me. She said, "If I make it 5 years, I will be cancer-free. I will have to remove my left breast." A month later, my mom had her left breast removed, and then she started chemo, losing her beautiful hair, and she was tired all the time, but she never complained once. Starting high school should be the beginning of the 4 best years of my life, but I was living in the dark. I went to school only because I didn't have a choice. It was hard being a freshman with a sick mom, seeing all the other moms with their daughters, and everyone asking, "Where's my mom?" and why she was sick. I was bullied because my great aunt and grandma took me places and showed up at activities instead of my mom. I fell into a deep depression, and cancer treatment had taken the only person I could talk to. I felt like nobody cared. As I fell deeper into this depression, I started smoking a pack a day and eating very little. Sometimes I would have to force myself to eat. I had no desire to live. I just wanted the nightmare to end. My mom set me up on a date with Chris. We started dating. I think my mom didn't want me home. I believe she didn't want me to see her in pain and didn't want me to remember her that way. She wanted me to enjoy high school. My mom did good for 1 year, and then darkness returned in August. She found a bug bite and went to the doctor to have it checked out. All she told us was that she's starting a high dose of radiation and chemo. The darkest hour was coming faster. The next 2 weeks, there were many changes. I didn't know what was happening. I just knew it wasn't good. My aunt and grandma were not acting right, like they were hiding something from me. And then my mom came home from treatment and was using a walker, and they said, "She's just sick." And the next treatment, she was in a wheelchair. Still no one would tell me what was going on. The next thing I knew it, she was in a hospital bed. We had a nurse coming to our house, and then she was in a coma. Still no answer. My mom's best friend, Gloria Harm, was a nurse and said, "Honey, you need to tell your mom everything you need to." And that's when I found out she's dying. I sat there holding her hand, telling her how much I love her, watching as the tears flowed down my face. She couldn't speak, but I could tell she was listening. When I thought my heart could not break anymore, I did what I was told, and I sat there holding her hand. As she stood, her last breath and heart stopped. I felt numb. My heart was broken into 100 pieces. I felt ashamed. I should have been a better daughter. Fear said hide away. Shame said wear those chains. I felt guilty, lied to me, and I believed everything. On September 2nd, at 10:50 p.m., my mom left the world. I just held tightly to her hand as they dragged me away. I stayed at Gloria's house that night, and she held me tight, and I cried myself to sleep. At the showing, I wouldn't let go of her hand as over 600 people came through. After the funeral, I just felt empty, that there was no life left in me. I just wanted to stay in the darkness. The first year, I tried to end my life. After school, I went to my grandma's house, and I took a knife and I put it to my chest. I called my friend Ann and said, I just wanted to end. She immediately came over and took the knife away. But that didn't stop me. I became more reckless. I tried to total my car. I wanted it to end. But again, God's grace saved me. But at the time, I didn't recognize it was God working. I was in a deep depression, and I wanted to stay there. I wouldn't let anyone get close to me. I was afraid of losing them and having to deal with the pain again. Then, 18 years later, I was online when I saw Pastor Jeremy Robinson collapse. And that's when I felt God nudging me to come back to church. I went back shortly after that and gave my life to Christ. Ginger and Jeremy was standing up there with me and asking God to forgive me how I was living. God pulled me out of the darkness, and I let his light shine on me. But this time I got it right. I went back to church. I stayed connected. My faith came stronger as I watched my pastor fight for his life with kidney cancer. Seeing Pastor Jeremy never waver in his faith was when I found God. Jeremy was fighting a battle, but never gave up. Ginger was helping me with scriptures and telling me how much I was loved and how much God loved me. Ginger taught me Proverbs 3, 5, 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and not lean on your own understanding. Submit your ways to him and he'll make a path straight. God uses the rebellion and the prodigal, the humble and the weak. He pulls us out of our mess and uses the broken things. At a women's conference, Ginger said, I have a deep conversation with you. She said, God's calling you to be involved in cancer. With God's help, I have placed third, second, and first place individual for the Relay for Life. Last year, I was a luminary chair, and none of this would have been possible without God. Now that my chains have been broken, I have so much love in my life from my church and my friends. My best friend, Teresa, lost her mom to breast cancer. We lean on each other. Sometimes I don't have the answer, but I have a shoulder to cry on, an ear to listen. God brought us together to help each other out. Katie is like a sister to me. She's 15, so I'm getting to act like a teenager and do the things I missed out on. Kim, Rhonda, Josh, and many more have had lots of spiritual influence on my life. When the wall came down, I was able to love and not be afraid of others in my life. Life's about love and not being afraid to love back. Right now, I'm getting my master's degree in ministry study. I want to be involved in the lives of youth and share the beauty God has made on my ashes. In life, it's about relationships. If you need to forgive someone, do it now and not wait. Make it right. Pain has a way of clipping our wings and keeping us from being able to fly. When I was able to love God, then I could love people. I am enough, and I'm fearfully, wonderfully made. I was in a deep depression until I found God and could see the light. Through my scars, I share the love of God. Share my story at church, Living the Light TV show, and with you all here tonight. I will continue to reflect on God's light. When all you see is pain, you lose sight of God. Psalms 147:3. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. God can restore what is broken and change it all into something amazing. All you need is faith. Scars can change the world. Scars can set me free. We don't know if we have tomorrow, but we do have whatever time we have been given to live our purpose. Thank you.
Amen.